Hello, and welcome. In today's world of hospitality, data and integrity, they're everything. As your guide for this session, I'm here to help you navigate the very core of hotel operations. Today, we're going to focus on something that is absolutely critical to the success of any property: revenue and cash management. So let's get started on this really key step in your professional journey. All right, let's dive right in. I want you to think of a hotel's revenue as its lifeblood. Seriously, it's the energy that flows through every single department, keeping the lights on, sustaining operations, and fueling growth. Managing this flow with integrity, well, it's not just about balancing the books. It's about building trust and making sure the hotel is successful for the long haul. And what's really amazing is just the sheer number of these transactions. I mean, think about it. Every single room payment, every room service order, every little purchase from the gift shop, each one creates a financial data point. So our goal, is to make sure every single one of those points is recorded accurately, kept totally secure, and reported with complete transparency. Now, when you've got so many transactions happening 24/7 and across so many different departments, the front desk, the spa, the restaurant, you're naturally going to face some financial risks. A hotel is such a dynamic, fast-paced environment, and all that energy, while it's fantastic for the guest experience, it also creates opportunities for errors and, even misconduct if things aren't managed properly. So what are we actually protecting against, right? What are the specific threats that can really undermine a hotel's financial integrity? Look, understanding these risks is always the very first step in building a strong defense. So let's break them down. The risks can be pretty varied. You've got skimming. That's when cash is taken before it's even recorded in the system. Unauthorized discounts can quietly eat away at your profits. Simple mistakes in posting transactions can cause huge headaches later on. And of course, there's the risk of outright theft, or even people manipulating reports to hide poor performance or other issues. Any one of these can seriously damage a hotel's bottom line and its reputation. So how do we build that strong defense we were talking about? Well, it all starts with one of the most fundamental principles in financial control: the separation of duties. This isn't just some best practice idea, it is the absolute cornerstone of a secure financial system in any business, and it's especially true in hospitality. Okay, so here's the core idea, and it's pretty straightforward. No single person should control a financial process from start to finish. This creates a natural system of checks and balances. Think about it. If one person handles the cash, another person records the transaction, and a third person reconciles the accounts, it becomes significantly harder for errors or fraud to go unnoticed. It's a simple concept, but it's incredibly powerful. Now, in a big hotel, this is easy. You can have completely separate people for all these tasks. But what about a smaller property? Where maybe one front desk agent handles the cash, posts the charges, and closes out their own shift. Well, in that case, we use something called compensating controls. All this means is that a supervisor or manager has to step in and do an independent review of that agent's reports and cash drops every single day. It's a really practical solution for a very common reality. Okay, let's see how all this theory actually plays out in the day-to-day. We get the principle, but what does it really look like in practice? How do we take this idea of control and turn it into concrete, repeatable procedures for our teams? It's really all about creating clear, unmistakable accountability. Every cashier gets their own drawer, their own cash float. That means they are responsible for their cash, and only their cash. Secure safes for storing deposits? That's totally non-negotiable. Surprise counts? Well, they keep everyone on their toes. And daily reconciliation means any little discrepancy gets caught immediately, not weeks down the road when it's impossible to figure out what happened. It is so important to frame this the right way for your team. This isn't about a lack of trust. It's about protecting both the hotel's assets and the employees themselves. When the routines are clear and consistent and everyone knows that discrepancies will be looked into right away, it just creates a secure environment for everybody and discourages any potential issues from the very beginning. And of course, in any modern hotel, we have a very powerful ally in this whole process: technology. Our property management systems, our point-of-sale systems, they aren't just for booking rooms or taking food orders. They are absolutely critical tools for financial control. And this quote just says it all perfectly. A system can flag an unusual discount, sure, or avoid a transaction, but it can't tell you why it happened. It takes human judgment, it takes management oversight to investigate that flag, to understand the context, and then to take the right action. So technology empowers us, definitely, but it doesn't replace our responsibility. The process of reconciliation is really where everything comes together. It's like a layered system. So on a daily basis, your PMS revenue reports have to match up against the actual cash and credit card slips. Then those credit card settlements are checked against what actually gets deposited in the bank. And finally, on a monthly basis, all the other systems, from the spa, the restaurant, you name it, they all get rolled up and have to match the general ledger. It's a rigorous process, but it ensures accuracy and gives you reliable data for making smart business decisions. Which brings us to the ultimate goal here. All of these procedures, these principles, these systems, they aren't just about protecting money. No, they're about building something much, much more valuable, a culture of integrity. When these controls are applied consistently and they're communicated clearly, they stop feeling like a burden. They just become second nature. It's the normal, professional way of doing business. They become part of the hotel's operational rhythm, protecting assets and, at the same time, reinforcing the ethical standards of your entire team. And this is the ultimate takeaway I want you to remember. Strong financial discipline isn't the opposite of excellent service. It's what makes it possible. A financially healthy hotel is a hotel that can invest in its facilities, invest in its people, and invest in creating those unforgettable guest experiences. The two are completely 100% aligned. And that leaves us with a final question for you to think about as you move forward in your careers. Knowing these principles, understanding these tools, and seeing the ultimate goal, how will you, as a future leader, build and maintain a culture where financial integrity and trust aren't just policies written down on a page, but are the lived everyday reality for your entire team?